Hi, welcome to another lesson. This one is about conditionals. Unit 7, offshoring, the grammar. Alright, let's start. Let's skip this. The first conditional. If the weather is good, we will go to the beach tomorrow. Is this likely? Yes, this is likely. If the weather is good, we will go to the beach tomorrow. Yes. So this is a prediction, cause and effect of something that is likely. Then you have, if you do something wrong, you will get punished. That's also likely, cause and effect. Maybe you won't get punished, but like 80% sure, or 60% that you will get punished. The structure. If it rains, we will go to the zoo. So in the if part, you use the present tense. And in the other part, you use will plus verb. We will go to the zoo if it rains. Should there be a comma in this sentence? No, there should be no comma in this sentence. However, if you begin with the if part, you should write a comma in the sentence. Oh, and please, can you please change this sentence into a question? Pause, please. Okay, the question will be, will we go to the zoo if it rains? So you can change conditional into a question. If it rains, will we go to the zoo? Exercise. Please do this exercise. And pause right now. Pause, please. Please pause. Because I will go to the answers. And you first need to do it by yourself. So pause, please. First one. If prices continue to fall this way, we will not make a profit this year. Second one. If they go to China, they will find cheaper labor, certainly. It's very probable that they will find cheap labor in China because the salaries are lower. So, likely situation, first conditional. If the company loses more market share, stockholders will be angry. Very logical, cause and effect, very probable. I will use an umbrella if it rains. Yes. Now, try to make as many sentences with the following words. Like, for instance, if I go to Turkey, it will be wonderful. If I go to Turkey, I will go to the mosque or something. As many sentences as possible. Can you please do that for the second one? If I go to the North Pole, and pause, please. Say out loud as many sentences with if I go to the North Pole as you can. And make up things. It doesn't matter what you make up, it's important that you use the first conditional in your speech. So start right now with if I go to the North Pole, please, and pause. Alright, so now I hope you were able to make up a lot of sentences with if I go to the North Pole. If I go to the North Pole, it will be cold. If I go to the North Pole, I will see ice bears. If I go to the North Pole, I will like it. If I go to the North Pole, I will take amazing pictures. Things like that. As quickly as possible, make up things. So now for the next I will do the same thing for this next slide. So what you see, make up as much sentences with the first conditionals as you can related to the next slide. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. If I go to and pause, please. If I go to New York, I will go shopping. If I go to New York, it will be expensive. And many more sentences. I hope you got at least 5 sentences with New York. Otherwise, pause and try to do it again using the first conditional. Okay. Next, next location. Are you ready to make up first conditional sentences? Are you ready? Go. Thanks. If I go to Rio de Janeiro, I will go dancing. If I go to Rio de Janeiro, I will go to the Jesus statue. Things like that. All right. Go to the next. We're gonna skip these ones. Now we talked about the first conditional. So if I go to Europe, it will be cold. Now we go to the second one. If you heat ice, it melts. You already see it has a different structure. In the if part, you use the present tense. That's the same like as the first. But in the second part, you also use the second tense. If you heat ice, it melts. So when do you use this? Do you use this for likely situations or situations that are very, very likely or almost sure to happen? These kind of conditionals are used when something is almost sure to happen. Very logical, like 1 plus 1 is 2. You can also use it for things that are generally true. If I am hungry, I eat. If it rains, the grass gets wet. Very logical, right? So for that you use the zero conditional. The book doesn't distinguish between zero and first conditional. So please remember this, because on page 160, you can go there right now, you can read it and pause this video. It has a great explanation of the conditionals, maybe better than my explanation. There you can read everything about the conditionals. One thing, we're not talking about the third one this lesson, just the zero conditional, the first conditional and the second conditional. If you reduce costs, you increase margins. Very, very, very logical. So, and you can also use it if you request action for a likely situation. Call me if you get more information. Let me know if you have any problems. So a request for action. Also, this is on page 160 of your Intelligent Business book. This brings me to the next slide, the second conditional. Maybe you can already make a sentence with the second conditional. Can you give it a try? Pause this video, give it a try, a sentence with the second conditional. Yes, okay. If I were Trump, I would. How would you finish this sentence? If I were Trump, I would. Pause, please. If I were Trump, I would resign. One student in my class, she made up, if I were Trump, I would kill myself. That was what she made up. Very creative. Very creative. I don't think I would kill myself if I were Trump. Maybe I'd use my money. I would use my money to make a better world, maybe. Or change my character completely. Change my hairstyle. I don't know. If I were Trump, I would change my hairstyle. Here it is. So, my question. Is this situation likely if I were Trump? Is that likely? You think like, well, 60% likely? No, this is not likely at all. It's unrealistic. It's very unlikely. So here you predict consequences of unlikely situations. Almost impossible situations, maybe. Read more on page 160 about that. But so, you can also use this for cause and effect in the past, which are not true now. If I called him, Harold was a friend of mine in 2010. He's not my friend anymore. If I called him, he wouldn't answer the phone. That's about the past. There's a spelling mistake here in the word phone. If you behaved in a bad way at the primary school I was in, you would get punished. Maybe the primary school I was in doesn't exist anymore. It was 30 years ago. Maybe the primary school has changed completely. They don't punish students anymore. So it's about the past, cause and effect. Structure. So in the if part you use the past tense. In the second part you use would plus verb. I would resign if I were Trump. Never, ever, 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 ever use would in the if part. If I would be Trump, no. If I were Trump, not if I would be Trump. Never use would in the if part. So my question to you is this question sentence correct? Yes or no? Pause, please. Is this correct question sentence correct? This is a correct sentence because in the if part there is no would. You are allowed to use could in the if part, absolutely, but you're just not allowed to use would because you would use would twice. Yes. And also I want you to think about if I were Trump. You use the past tense, but are you really talking about the past there? Is it about the past? No, it's not about the past. You're just imagining things. It's not about the past in this sentence. Of course, in the last one, this one is actually about the past. Cause and effect in the past. Alright. Can you change this sentence into a question and use the subject you, please? Pause, please. If you could, would you make this world a better place? Would you make this world a better place if you could? Sure. So, what's the difference between these two sentences? A or the first one, A or B? Pause, please. Do this exercise. If I leave now, I will get home early. That means this employee is free to go. He can go whenever he wants to. Second, this is not the case for the second employee. He has to work until 6. If he leaves now, he may get fired. He will get into trouble. If I left now, I would get home early. But I can't leave now. I have to work until 6. My boss will get furious at me. So, do understand the difference between the two conditionals. Okay, an exercise. If I were... Can you finish this sentence? This all depends. I am a boy, or I'm a man. So if I would say, if I were a boy, no, wait. If I were a girl, I would go shopping with friends. If I were a girl, because I am not a girl, and so that's why I say if I were a girl. It's unrealistic, unlikely, impossible. If I were, can you finish? Wait. Please do this exercise and pause, please. Please pause. If I went to Mercado Oriental at night, I would get robbed. If I went to Mars, I would say hi to the aliens living there. If there were more rooms available, we would not have this problem. It's very hard to build new rooms. It takes 2 years to build a building, you know, it's impossible. If I studied at the UCA, I would study psychology, something like that. Okay. Okay, wait. Now we're gonna do the same thing as before. I'm gonna show a picture and you make up as many sentences using the second conditional as you can, okay? So make up as many sentences, say out loud. I don't care where you are, just say out loud as many sentences as you can with the following picture, okay? Go. Okay, I hope you were able to say things like, oh, pause, please, if you want to have more time. Pause. If I met Shakira, I would ask for an autograph. If I met Shakira, I would be very happy. Something like that. Unrealistic. Next one. Are you ready for the next one? Make up as many sentences as you can, eh? Go. Oh, these are actually two, so just do both, okay? So, if my boss asked me on a date, I would say no. If I had talent, I would participate in the Voz Colombia. If I had talent, I would sing a lot. If I had talent, I would become a very famous star. Something like that. Okay. Wait. We're gonna skip. Wait. No, we're gonna skip this. Please finish this sentence in as many ways as you can. Pause, please. Do the same for the next sentence. As many sentences using the second conditional. Okay, let's not get political. Okay, another one. For the next, say tell me as many sentences using the second conditional as you can. Okay, go. If I married Kim Kardashian, I would not be happy. Okay, we're gonna skip this. Now we're gonna do this exercise. Please pause and do this exercise. Okay. I would apply for the job if I had the qualifications, but I don't. Not realistic. If prices continue to fall this year, we will not make a profit. Logical, realistic. If I were him, I would step down before the news comes out. I think a scandal happens or something. If we reduce labor costs, we will be more efficient. Yes. If I had his phone number, I would call him. If I meet objectives, I will get a bonus. Very likely. Yes. Alright. So the first one for likely situations, for the second for unlikely, unrealistic situations. Sometimes you can use both. Sometimes you can use both. It depends. Okay. Now pick one of these and try to make up sentences. And try to see if you can find examples of both conditionals and use them in your speech. Pause, please. Okay, then this is a writing exercise. Please just make a small writing exercise and send it to my email, okay? This is the exercise, and please press pause right now to read it. Because this was the lesson about conditionals. I hope it's clear when to use conditionals. So when it's an unlikely situation, which conditional do you use? The first or the second? The second. When it's a likely situation, what do you use? The first or the second? The first. When do you use the zero conditional? Zero conditional used for a call to action. Call me if you have more information, and use it for a very logical situation. Ice melts if you heat it. Yes. Thank you very much. This was it for today. Okay, if you wanna see and how can you advise you one song? It's LCD Sound System. New York, I love you, but you're bringing me down. Very great song. Yes, I'm gonna end right now.